Hey everyone, this is Holly and I've got some fun Halloween DIYs for you again, and as always, I hope you enjoy the show. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you click that button. This is the wall shelf from Dollar Tree, and I chose this because it's actually very thick. It's probably equal to about 4 of the cheap Dollar Tree wood signs, and I'm going to need it to be thick for what I'm going to do with this project, and you'll see that at the end. I am cutting off the ends with the holes because I don't want those with my trusty little saw. If you are interested in the saw, it is tagged now in my videos, so you'll see products below my videos. You can just tap the screen if you're on a phone and you'll see like tagged products, and with a mouse you kind of float over and tap it, or you stop the video, pause it. A lot easier to find products now for sure, now that they're tagging. That is way easier, and you guys are always asking about this saw, and yes, it's made crafting a lot easier. So I'm taking some wood glue, and these are paint sticks. Those are down below in my description box if you're interested. I get these from Amazon. I get them because they don't have that little curvature weird thing, and I'm just doing the wood glue and the hot glue. In between, you can kind of see I'm like dotting a little bit wood glue, dotting a little bit of hot glue, and that's going to give me a permanent hold and a temporary hold. The wood glue is awesome for that on raw wood. It is almost as strong as nails or screws. It doesn't come off. If you peel it apart, it will actually take the wood with it a lot of times, and I've spoken about it over the last 4 years so many times in my videos. But if you're going to glue wood together, you guys grab your wood glue. So these are these little, like, I don't know what they're like, I guess knobs to a chest of drawers. I found them on Temu, I think. And they were super cheap, like a bag of them. And I thought, oh my gosh, these would make such cute little legs and stuff for trays. Look at how cute that is, you guys. That's just paint sticks, Dollar Tree, little shelf, and little feet. So I'm setting that aside to dry. And then I'm taking these mason jars from the Dollar Tree. And here are our 3 beautiful witches, these ladies right here. And I understand everybody's watching from around the world, you know, so feel free to make your witches however you want to. I designed these to be ones I could relate to. They kind of look like people I know. But we are going to take Mod Podge and put a very thin layer on these mason jars so that they don't wrinkle and bubble up. I'm being really, really conservative with it here. So, you know, it does work, by the way. If you are very light-handed with Mod Podge, it will not bubble your paper like it does, obviously, if you put tons and tons on. So they stay totally flat. I did use the Mod Podge instead of a glue stick because I felt with this particular craft, especially because it's just regular computer paper here, it's going to be like resistant. It's probably not going to want to stick onto the mason jar. And I have shown my tissue paper printing method before in my videos. You can always tape some tissue paper, just regular old gift paper, like the tissue you put in like a gift bag, and tape it to cardstock and run it through your computer that way and print it that. It'll make it more transparent if you want to do that. I wanted to do it this way this time. I had a different idea. So I'm mixing some Mod Podge up with black paint. Now, the reason I did this is because I didn't want solid black, because I want these to illuminate, but I also kind of liked that it might look a little webby or spidery kind of and streaky because they're witches. So I just thought that looked a little bit more like Halloween. And I've never done this before, but I figured, well, this will get the paint to stick beautifully, right? Because it's acrylic paint. The Mod Podge will make it stick, and I will get enough transparency so the light will still go through, but it will look painted when it's actually burning. And you'll see at the end, it does. If you're after that, this is perfect. Look at that. Didn't they come up good? That printer is so amazing that I have. So I set those aside to dry because now my tray is dry. So this is kind of like 2 DIYs in this DIY. There's a tray and then there's the actual craft, but they're both crafts, I guess. So technically this is another DIY. I just chose to put it all in the same video, but I'm taking some of the folk art antique wax. Any antique wax will work for this. I add a little bit of black acrylic paint just to make it look more like a dark walnut, because that can be a little reddy sometimes. And I water it down with a little bit of water to make it glide and slip all over, and it goes farther. It's a cheaper way to use it. And I just used a baby wipe, wiped it all, or sorry, a brush and a baby wipe, and wiped it all over. And then this is what it looks like. And then of course I used a little tiny brush for the legs. So I set that aside to dry now, and I'm going to take some of the Walmart twine and wrap it around the top of these jars. And I just use a little bit of glue here and there to make it stay in place. You don't have to do it all over the top. And of course I'm taking my flame there and just singeing off any hairs. I will tag the Walmart twine in with my products. Last time I looked, it was sold out, but just so you guys can actually go and look at the label to see which one I'm talking about, because it is cheaper than the Dollar Tree and it's much nicer. These are the top of the lids of the mason jar. So you can see I'm not using the part that screws, and I'm taking the little branches, all of these things, and this is Excelsior grass. I'm showing you the one I use. All of this is listed down below in my description box under my video. There's a link, you click on it and it will take you to the product. Just look for the word more underneath the video, and if you click it, a drop down menu will appear, and that's where all the products are. Some of them are affiliate links and it helps support my channel. I get a very small commission. I think it's like 4% or 2%, but still every little bit helps. So thank you to those of you that shop from those links, because it really does help. So I'm just taking a little bit of hot glue here and kind of tacking down the Excelsior grass. I'm not trying to cover up all of the gold lid because I actually think the sparkle with the gold will look kind of cool at Halloween. I like that during the holidays. I'm not like in a panic to paint anything. I think the metal itself is really pretty. So I'm just trying to cover it up so that it's not like distracting from my little witches, because that's what I want everyone to focus on. So I'm just kind of crunching everything down, painting, and then this is what it looks like when we do all three of them. Aren't they cute? Look at that, you guys. So here's the Halloween garland I got on my last shopping video, and they're like little stems. They have some glitter on, but I use them for embellishment, and it's perfect for Halloween decor. I'm just gluing one of those behind each one of the stems, and then I'm using the black leaves left over from the purple and black roses that they sell during the Halloween time. You know, the Dollar Tree, I think they only sell the purple and black roses, or at least those are like the predominantly dominant ones that you see at Halloween. That's where those black leaves are from. Next, I'm taking these black berries. They're kind of like the red berries at Christmas, but they're black, and I just put a couple on top. And here comes the tray, and we're just going to place these down in the tray. And these are the 3 black tea lights from the Dollar Tree, 3 for $1.25. You cannot beat that. And the long grain rice is also from the Dollar Tree. Now, I will say I've always done this. This is how I nestle my little tea lights, even when they're real flame, even my votive candles. I just always grab rice because it's cheap, it's available, and it works. So usually it's just for the season. Never had trouble with ants or any animals bothering it, but I end up putting them, well, okay, so at the end, I do it where I take, I didn't like the, well, it's not that I don't like it, it's a different look. I wanted my little witch faces to light up. Oh, so real quick here, I just want to say I'm putting Spanish moss in. I'm going to look for the black rock at the Dollar Tree, probably to put this in, but the Spanish moss also looks awesome. So I don't know, maybe I'll leave the Spanish moss. Let me know what you think, you guys. Do you think I should put black rock at the bottom on the tray, or do you think I should just leave the Spanish moss? I can't decide. So I want my little faces to light up, the little witch faces. I know this for sure. And we also have to give them names. I'm thinking Matilda, Esmeralda, and what should the third one be? I don't know. But here I did it this way so you can see both. The 2 jars at the end have no rice in. The votive is just at the bottom, and they're completely lit up. You can see the little witches. The one in the center, I took the votive candle and I actually turned it sideways, and it's on top of the rice. Okay, for this project, we are using the Dollar Tree organizing drawer, those plastic ones, and the Dollar Tree candlestick holder, and a print. So another good place you can look for prints is where the cards are. Dollar Tree has lots of pretty prints there, especially when the holidays come. But you can get them there, and just if you can't, if you don't have a printer, or if you just want something thicker than printer paper, that's another fun way to get some pretty prints, as well as the gift bags, of course. So I opened the drawer, I put the card in there, and of course, what would witches be without their black cats, you guys? We have to have a black cat. And I'm taking the Excelsior grass again, tacking it down with a little bit of hot glue and just cutting it with my scissors, just kind of positioning everything where I want it. And then I'm going to take this pumpkin here. It came off of the fall garland with the leaves, like the fall leaves. I decided to use that one. And it's a little bit too round and big, but I still wanted to use it because it's perfect. So I took my little utility knife and just cut a little bit off of the pumpkin, and then we're going to tuck it in there sideways. And the stem was still too long. So you'll see I take my wire cutters right there and just clip it off, and it was perfect. You can't even tell I cut it because it's solid and it's still brown inside, so that worked perfect. And then I'm using one of these little tiny pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. They're like little picks. And I used the furniture marker just to stain the stem. I also cut the stem down shorter so it looks better. And I'm using a little bit of Spanish moss on the top there and gluing it just to give it a little bit of character. Taking some more hot glue, gluing that in the corner. And then we're also going to take the pumpkin and tilt it like sideways and glue that in as well. Then you'll see that I have this primitive star, and because those pumpkins are styrofoam, I just take one of the points of the star and push it down into the pumpkin. It's that simple because that is pre-rested, totally good deal. That one was from Temu for sure. And I'm using the garland, the Halloween garland that I glued on the top of the witch little jars. I decided to put that in there as well, like a little, it looks like a little, maybe it's supposed to look like maybe a stickly, spindly tree or something. And now I am taking some craft sticks, cutting them at an angle, and I'm going to put that on the top and make like a little stem. So if you haven't guessed, we're going to make like a little see-through window pumpkin here. And I just use masking tape to glue on the top of the handle there so that I have something to adhere the sticks to. And then I'm going to glue one on either side, but first I'm going to stain them with the furniture marker. So this is a color walnut. I love these markers. They are so fast and easy. You don't have to take your wax out. And for little jobs like this, they're perfect. So if you see those, be sure to pick them up. I mean, even if you don't use the other colors, they're worth it just for this one color because it lasts a long time. And I go ahead and stain those. Now I'm going to glue them on the top. So now I'm taking some raffia and I'm just going to tie it on my stem, and I wrap it around one way and then I wrap it around the other way, and I'm just making sure that the raffia is going to stay on and that you can see it. It just looks kind of good to me, chunky. One of the biggest mistakes I have, it's like my weak spot or so, I don't know, but I have a tendency to make my stems too short. So this year I totally made them taller, like big time, just to make sure it didn't happen. Raise your hand, you guys. Let me know in the comments if you guys do that too. I don't know what that is, but I'll think, oh yeah, this stem is totally long. And by the time I put all my little embellishments on and everything, it's like, where's my stem? I have no stem. Anyway, here is the Dollar Tree ribbon, and I love that orange like burlap one, but it was way too thick and heavy for this craft, so I just went ahead and I sliced it up, and then you'll see me cut the edge off right here. I'm after the wires. There's two of them here, and I'm using two because they're very like delicate, and sometimes when I use them to twist the bow together, they actually have, you know, they break. So I do two this time, and you just keep the material on it, and then it's like a perfect match for your bow. It works really good. So now I'm just dovetailing the ends of my ribbon just here and there. I actually don't do this on all of them. I only do them just scattered here and there because I kind of like the mismatched look. And then I'm doing more or less a messy bow, and I'm going to take that wire that I just cut to the left right there. I'm doing it now, and I'm going to go ahead and twist them together. Look at how good that looks. Yeah, so that's a nice little hack, you guys. If you want to cut the edge off for your ribbon, you have like a perfect match in the middle of your ribbon that way. Or I should say the middle of your bow. Now I'm taking, of course, hot glue, and I'm gluing it on the top of my little pumpkin. Next, here come the fairy lights. Oh my gosh, I think it was like a package of 12 for like $8. This was such a good deal, or $9. And I just grabbed this box, and I'm wrapping it around because it's more or less the same size as the drawer. So I don't want mine to like be all over the place, although that would look good too. But I was in the mood to kind of like frame this, I guess. So I'm just kind of putting it along the edges and under the pumpkin, and then carefully sliding my drawer back in. Isn't this awesome? And then on the other side, I'm using the double-sided sticky tape from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put the little, I guess, turn little power station on. Just put it on the back. No one will ever see it. And you can absolutely take this craft apart and change it for the season too, because I just used hot glue. So everything would pop off. If you want to do like a Christmas scene, I'm probably going to make a Christmas scene, you guys, so you guys can see that. Then I use my big guns because, as it turns out, hot glue is definitely not holding the plastic to the glass even temporarily. So I thought, we're getting the E6000 and we're using hot glue. We're going to glue it down and hold it for a bit. And that's it. That's it. This is so beautiful. Someone give me a name for this cat too. I would love to know what you guys are going to name the cat. We have another free printable for you today. I'm using a Dollar Tree round sign, and again, there it is. If you can't get the link to work, just take a screenshot. I went ahead and I printed this out in 4 different quadrants because you know how the Dollar Tree like MDF board, the rounds are big. So always wiser in hindsight, you guys. I definitely should have used my tissue paper method for this one because it would have been like totally not noticeable at all. It's not really noticeable either now, but I had to go to a lot of work to make it not noticeable, if that makes sense. So if you're going to do this, definitely tape some tissue paper down on that cardstock, put it through your printer, and then, you know, you can cut it off and use the tissue paper and it will just kind of disappear into, you know, the seams won't be there. So I'm cutting this out. And by the way, this is a free program called Open Office. And if anyone's interested, let me know. I will include a tutorial next time I do this on how to break your images up into 4 parts because they've changed the program now and it's super simple. It's under drawing, and from there it's like self-explanatory, and you can break it up into as many parts as you want. You can make like a poster, which is a game changer, right? So you can make as big of a sign as you want. I also designed this sign, you guys, using Canva. This is my sign, and I even made the girl. I did everything. So all of these printables, and from now on, they're going to be totally original in mine. I go ahead and I cut these out. And then as you can guess, we're just going to go ahead and take the glue stick and glue them down. So I'm taking these little wooden beads from Amazon and I'm putting them around the sign. So I don't want it to look like, or rather I should say, I want it to look like studs on denim rather than like the traditional wooden beads, because this is a witch sign. I just felt like the studs looked better. I don't know why. And then I painted it black. So I didn't get the design perfect in the middle, and you'll see at the end it totally doesn't matter because by the time I'm distressing it now with a little bit of black paint and I paint it black and I add some more black shadows around, and by the time everything's said and done, I center it so it looks centered, so it's fine. So after I did my dry brushing, I was like, oh no, the paint stuck in the little seams and made them even more visible. So I move on to do some dry brushing with white paint because I wanted this to kind of have a glow like the moon. I just wanted to get that vibe in there because it's a witch, right? And by the way, when you get the free printable, you don't have to print it up in separate pieces. You could just keep it intact. But I decide to take and really distress the sign, and that solves the problem. So I take sandpaper and start specifically sanding along the seams on purpose to remove the paint and to make the sign look old and worn down. And it works. I mean, unless you know that there is a cross and you're looking for it, you would never see this. And this is this like Liquid Dex, or it's called Liquitex basic acrylic like sealer. I'm loving this because I wanted this to be gloss. It doesn't smell. It makes everything shiny. By the way, I got to put some gloss on my apple, so I now have a shiny apple, which I talked about, and I'm going to post that on my Facebook. I did seal my poison apple up, and it's all glassy looking. It looks awesome. So I decided to seal her too, and it changed everything, the vibe. She looks really good. Put a burlap bow down, put some raffia on there, and then I put another little bow in the center to cover up the, I guess I tied it with twine, so it was to cover the twine, just trimming everything off. And then I decide to hang her using that Walmart twine that I talked about. That was just a great choice. And I'm putting a little hot glue on the end of it here. It's on low heat, twirling it around. And I'm going to utilize those holes because I'm planning on hanging this outside. And sometimes we get a lot of mist and rain for Halloween. So I didn't want anything coming off. So I even tied knots, glued it, and used my duct tape trick. And this is going to hang in the middle of my wreath, which I will be spraying black, you guys, because unfortunately my boxwood now is so faded that I thought, you know what, I'm just going to spray that black and we're going to make it a Halloween wreath. And of course I'm singeing it off and we're all done. For this one, I used a 99-cent only store broom, and I used a driftwood stick that I found at the beach, but you could just use a regular wood stick. So here's what I'm doing with these videos, because it's actually a part 1, part 2. I made a bunch of witchy decor, but I also have ones from the past, and I just recently stuck one in that was awesome in my fall video. So I was like, duh, Holly. If people click on this and they're looking for witchy, you know, a lot of people, big fans of witch Halloween decor, they're not going to get all of your great ideas because you've got them so sporadically spread out all over the place. You did some 4 years ago, you did some 2 years ago, so I'm going to put them all in one place. So if you are my hardcore fans, thank you, by the way, and you've seen these, go ahead and fast forward through them. But I'm still going to bring you new DIYs in each video, so you're not going to be cheated out of anything, but I just want to include these for those people that haven't seen them, because since I made these, and they're awesome, I have probably like another 100,000 subscribers. So I just used that broom, as you could see, cut it up, wrapped it around this stick. So I glued the first layer down so that I had that like covering the stick so there wouldn't be any holes, and then I just wrapped the rest and like tie it really, really tight with this Dollar Tree twine, and you can see here I'm pulling it really hard and wrapping it so it doesn't come undone. So for this craft, I should let you guys know that I did want to make it a primitive craft, which means hardly any color. I mean, at the time I had done research online. I was looking, oh, what's primitive? And I liked it. It showed me a bunch of DIY decor that was very simplistic, hardly any colors. That's what I was going for. So you could make this however you want, because they still sell this sign at the Dollar Tree. You could paint the witch's hat black, make the moon purple. You could do whatever you want with this, and I encourage that. You're supposed to have fun, so just have fun. But at the time, woodsy. Everything woodsy and neutral. That's what I was going for. It did end up looking really high-end. I wrapped some twine at the end of the wood there just to kind of finish it off. And then I had to remove that little cheesy broom at the bottom there because it was still showing, and I made the broom to obviously, you know, elevate this craft so it looked more like it came from maybe a little knick-knack store by the seaside or in the country. I wanted it to look more high-end. So this is also why I kept it neutral, because at the time, and it still is trending to some degree, the neutral decor, because if you love primitive stuff in your house, you're going to stick with that theme. But it kind of went with farmhouse, neutral, everything. And then I just used the leftover stick there to glue a much nicer broom down. And that was it. It was a simple craft, and I love this one. For this next craft, we're using the Dollar Tree cutting board, and I took it outside. I spray painted it black. I have this free printable here that says "Witches, please." I love that one. And I just took some orange paint because this is a Halloween craft, and I'm dry brushing it on here just to give it some texture and some dimension. And then I'm just going to Mod Podge this little free printable on top of it. Right there, some Mod Podge. We're going to let it dry, or actually I cheat and I use a blow dryer to blow dry it. Then I take a sponge, and I'm just sponging on some black paint around the edges, distressing it just a little bit, and I'm using some hairspray. I just sealed this with hairspray. This one worked perfectly because the colors, you do not have to worry about the hairspray yellowing at all. It's not going to be an issue. I blow dry it again. I put a bow on from the Dollar Tree. It's just polka dotted burlap, and we're all done. I had so much fun making these, you guys. My inner child is having a blast. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, share the video, leave a comment. Love to hear from you guys always. And of course, until the next one, breathe deep, fret not, and do things that make you happy.